Hello and welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha Twice. Today we want to have an amazing conversation for the girls and the boys. There are times that while we are in relationships, we are unable to manage our emotions, and sometimes it goes a long way to affect our mental health. Everyone is talking about mental health, depression, etc. But we have forgotten one key thing that actually puts a lot of stress emotionally on us. That is relationships. We want to look at how we can maintain a balance in our mental health while we are in a relationship, handling the do's and the don'ts and every challenge that comes with relationships. Stay glued to your seats. We'll be back. Welcome back from the break. Like I said earlier on, we want to look at how we can manage our mental health in relationships so that when you get a broken heart, you don't have to be rushed to the hospital because you are unable to stand on your feet. Don't faint when your boyfriend or your girlfriend tells you that it's over between us and any other thing that has to do with a relationship. I'll be speaking with Mr. Marvin Senanu Achia. He's a senior assistant registrar at Tamale Technical University. He's also a counselor. And then if you've watched one of our episodes, I believe you see him on our set talking about relationships, and most of you learned a lot from that episode. And I think that today he's going to do just justice to this topic as well. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
After a long chase, we have you again.
Yes.
Yeah, so relationships. We want to look at mental health. I think it has been one of the key issues everyone talk about, but sometimes we don't really look at how relationships can really have a toll on our mental health. Now, how can one, let's just go straight to the point, handle our emotions when we are in a relationship? How do I make sure that in as much as I love my boyfriend or my girlfriend, I'm still having a balance with it and don't just fall completely in love with him or her?
All right. So it starts right from childhood. A lot of people detach their upbringing from the statuses of their relationships when they get older. But it starts right from how you relate with your parents, your siblings.
Okay.
So first of all, you need to know that you are a complete human being, and then you don't really need people to top you up.
Okay.
Once you get that concept, anything that comes your way, you're able to sort of like soak it in, work on yourself, and then be able to react appropriately. So when we fail to do that connection very well, we grow up, like fast forward, you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, then you feel that that boyfriend or girlfriend compliments you, or she's supposed to top you up. So as soon as she does something, you feel half.
Yeah.
But then you're supposed to be a full person. So it starts from, we need to start training our kids to know that they came here for a purpose. They're in the world for a purpose. And they are full human beings who have all their emotions intact.
Okay.
You get the point I'm making. So I feel that once people start to understand that concept, when they are in relationships, they will be able to handle these things easier, like disappointments and maybe you plan a date with your boyfriend and then he stands you up. You should be able to take it, understand that, things happen. I mean, it doesn't always go the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, that's how it starts. Right from your childhood, you should be able to handle disappointments and stuff. Yeah.
So in the case where we've not had this at childhood and there's a young lady problem, most of the times we are actually the victims. The men are just find a way and they are okay. Of course, even though some of you go through that emotion, but the majority are usually the women. Now, somebody hasn't gone through that emotional training from their childhood, and for the first time they are hearing about how they can balance their emotions while in a relationship. How do they go about it? How do they start to handle disappointment?
All right. So first of all, I'd like to clarify some points
Okay.
you made that is mostly women. I feel women are even stronger than men.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
But you hide your emotions, so you hide in the room and cry. But we want to cry to everybody to hear us.
So it is worse for guys. Ooh. It's not because I'm a guy, but I've spoken to a lot of young guys or even elderly men who have suppressed a lot of emotions over the years, and now they are a total mess. Okay, so men are highly affected when it comes to this emotional thing or mental health.
Wow.
That is why men die faster than women.
Okay.
Okay, so, but you guys are solid. Women are solid. I mean, if you can hold a pregnancy for 9 months, then it means you are like emotionally and psychologically very strong. But let's box two sexes together and just speak generally. How do you handle that? Even though you lost out during your childhood. Whenever I have conversations with young people, I tell them that it is not a do or die affair. Relationship, marriage, all the beautiful things that society, the church, the mosque, and everybody has created that concept that you need to have somebody. It is not a do or die affair. The first thing you need to think about is your salvation, your purpose, where you are going to end up. Because trust me, on the day of judgment or when there is accountability, it's just you. Not you and your husband, not you and your wife. Okay, so you start by thinking that I'm going into this with a pure mind, a pure heart and all that. But if anything should happen, I'm coming back to default setting. Because I'm not sure God created man and woman just for the purpose of marriage or procreation. Also to do other things like go to the world and spread the message and all that, or make impact. Okay, so if it doesn't work with the woman, I'm a guy, it doesn't work with the woman, I can still go and preach. I can still go and teach. I can still go do something that will fulfill me one way or the other. When people start thinking that this is not do or die, it's not a World Cup, I mustn't win at all costs, then when the disappointment comes, you just treat it as a little setback in life. You could even leave some relationships and get better ones. Yeah, but what I've realized is that once I see Martha, it's Martha. I drink Martha, I eat Martha, I sleep Martha. So when Martha disappoints me, I go like, there can never be a Kenny. But then it's wrong. Because you were not created. The day you were born, they didn't mention Marvin. We are giving birth to this beautiful girl called Marvin. No, your dad didn't say that. So, well, I think young people should start thinking with an open mind about relationships. I'm not saying think promiscuously, but with an open mind.
Someone you relate to. I think I wrote an article on go into the world and multiply. And in that article, I made it clear that the multiplication we see in the Bible, we have made it, we have monopolized it to think that it's just about giving birth. But I'm understanding more even from this conversation that it's not just about having kids, but going to multiply the talent, the gifts, and everything that you have.
Exactly.
Now, to my next question, how do I probably psych my mind? You've spoken about that, but let's take maybe some little practical or one-on-one and get to understand how do I make up my mind that I wasn't born for Kofi, I wasn't born for Kweku. So if Kweku is maltreating me, how do I come out from that? Because the issue has always been, if I leave this relationship, that's all for me. If you see me with relationship, it's sometimes better, but the most serious one is marriage. They'll see me as a divorcee. They'll see me, how about the kids? They'll see me as a failure. And even in our religion, if a woman is divorced, she misses certain opportunities. How do we, of course, that's on a different thing, but let's look at the individual. How do they move on after a breakup, or even if they want to stay in, how do they psych their mental health to know that I'm just with this man, but nothing he does would hurt me?
So, not to downplay the beauty of love relationship or falling on someone or trying to lean on someone is very important. We need people, okay? But once you start declaring to yourself each morning that I am a queen, I'm a king, I'm King Marvin, okay? So I'm a weapon that's being used by God to touch lives and all that. Whenever I have an issue with maybe my wife, when I remind myself of who I am, I'm able to take away the anxiety or pain because I go like, I even have important things to do. Okay, let this one wait. We'll sort that out. But if you build everything around just the relationship or the marriage, it means that the day there's a bit of a shake-up, which would happen several times.
Wow.
Marriage is work, relationships is work, full of compromises, sacrifices, forgiveness, a lot of work. So that is why it's even scary to just put your mind only on that. You have to work on yourself, first of all. Like I'm saying, look in the mirror, declare to yourself, you are who you are because God made you wonderfully and beautifully. So I need to start thinking beyond just the relationship. It makes it easier. When you have a challenge, you can quickly, organize a set and then do your program, okay? Without necessarily thinking that because you have an issue with Kofi, so today we cannot be on set.
Yeah.
And there's fulfillment in a lot of other things than just the relationships, okay? So let me recap. Number one, trust yourself, like believe in yourself.
Okay.
Know that you are okay on your own. Everyone who comes to you is just a complementary or supplement to you, okay? Marriage, whatever, husband, wife, is just coming to add up.
Yeah.
The Bible said that God gave Eve to Adam to be his helper. Okay. He didn't give Eve to Adam to come and take the purpose of Adam. Okay. Just a helper. I mean, in the modern world, men also help women.
Yeah.
For example, if you have a husband, he's going to support you with your ministry and all that. Yeah. But if something happens, it doesn't stop your ministry. Doesn't stop your purpose. Think by thinking like that, it will be easy to deal with some of the pain and all that. I'm not saying it won't hurt when you love Kofi so much and then things are not working. Definitely it will hurt. But then when you have a purpose that's bigger than the relationship, it's easier for you to go through. Yeah.
So I like the fact that you keep mentioning purpose and purpose. I see a lot of women leaving their purpose for relationship. I don't even want to talk about marriage because if it's marriage, people will say, oh, they have to sacrifice for their kids, etc. But even in relationships, boyfriends tell them that I don't like you doing this particular thing, and they listen to them, and the relationship still doesn't even go on well. Now, you mentioned also about work. I think that it is one component that a lot of us miss. Earlier on this morning, we were having a conversation about relationships, and I was just saying to someone that if I have to visit my boyfriend now, I want to be at my best with my hair, my dress, and everything. Even if I go and he wants to wash a plate, I'll be like, oh, don't worry, let me wash the bowl for you because I want to be seen as that marriage material. Yeah. But the moment I get married and I get into his house, he has to see me snore, fat, all the stuff, how I get into the washroom during the time of the month, when I'm sick, the look on my face, and etc. I won't always wake up loving my husband. Yeah. What kind of work should we expect to do if we want to stay committed? And we hear that love with all the butterflies sometimes goes away. Yeah. Does it ever come back? And when you don't feel that at that moment, what can be done?
There's a lot you can do to spice up your, should I say relationship or marriage. I want to be careful because if I talk about spicing up relationship, then I'm going to say that some unmarried people should go on a candlelight dinner and then...
just candlelight dinner wouldn't be bad, but what happens at the end of the...
It leads to stuff I don't want to talk about.
But does candlelight dinner always lead to that?
It doesn't always. I mean, if you're a Christian sister and a Christian brother, so I'm sure,
hallelujah.
Abstinence and all that, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a fairy tale most of the time. But let me put it this way. Because I keep saying, I always tell people, love, marriage, relationships, they are work. Okay, so it's like you get a new job, you prepare, you get your suit, your tie, your shoes, you make sure you've got your paperwork and everything ready. That's the same attitude you send into a relationship. So the day someone says I love you, or you say you love someone, you just got yourself a new job. Okay. So when you start the job, what do? You try to, I don't support trying to impress beyond your capabilities, like you're saying. Someone goes to cook and all that, cooks like 5 dishes and all that. It's just fake. And most of us are very hypocritical in this part of the world. Like Western world, people are very frank. This is what I can do in this relationship. This is what I'm bringing to the table. We in Africa, we're afraid to even discuss what are you bringing to the table.
You were gold digger as soon as you want to start that conversation.
Exactly. And I realize that most of our women here are made to feel that they don't have anything to bring on the table apart from cooking 5 dishes and washing for the guy's mother and all that. But it goes beyond that. It should be a discussion of purposes. And then how am I going to sharpen you? You're going to sharpen me. Bible says that iron sharpeneth iron. That's why 2 people work. So since it's work, like you said, it gets to a point that the fun or the butterfly feelings goes out of the whole thing. And that's when, for example, in marriage, a man should know how to, once in a while, when the wife is washing dishes, he would go and support her, maybe spank her small, and then she smiles and all that. Sorry.
That's marriage.
If I'm not supposed to say. That's marriage.
Oh, no, of course.
Yeah.
It's good.
Or maybe say something very beautiful about your wife, something naughty. Okay, wives are human beings too. People go around telling, other people, you are looking good. Like I said, you are looking very good.
Yeah.
I should be able to
say that to your
remind
wife.
my wife once in a while that, babe, today you are looking very beautiful. I think it spices up. But apart from those little things, the rest of the whole thing is work. Like mental work. I need to be thinking, what can I do to help you feel full or complete? Okay. And that is where our topic even comes out very clearly, because how do you take care of a human being? How do you take care of a human being's emotions or his psychological condition? When
she's down, how do I help her? Even when you don't feel like talking or do anything, how do you, because sometimes some people sometimes you hear someone say that, oh, you think you are sad, do you know what I'm even going through?
Exactly.
And that is even putting so much pain on the other person.
Yes.
But even if you are also going through your pain, how do you handle someone's, because women, as soon as we find comfort in talking to you, no matter how little it is, you want to talk to the person. But there are times that even if the person is not around you, you can handle greater battles than that. I watched a video on TikTok about, I think there were like 4 boxes, and the woman was like, if my husband is not around, she was able to lift all the 4 boxes.
Yeah.
But once her husband was around, she was lifting one, and it was as if she wanted to fall or something. And it was so funny that women are in a way that when a man is around, they want to feel so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Just because they can't trust the man. Yeah. Now, sometimes don't you think that we do it too much when you guys are not also in the mood?
Well, like when I was starting life and trying to understand women, which no guy should try to do because it's a waste of time.
Wait, you
can't
understand women?
No, never. I was trying to. I had issues with that, like you rightly said. Do you think you are the only one emotional today? Do you know what I'm going through? I had to go out and maybe look for some connections to get us something to eat and all that. But then later on in life, I realized that women are differently made. They are differently made, differently from us men. Okay, the way we understand things, that's not the way women understand things. We are looking at things logical. This is black, this is white. So it's clearly black or white. Women always have that gray area. You cannot really tell.
So someone passed a comment that men know red, yellow, white, green. Yes. Women will say, oh, this is royal blue,
turquoise.
This is turkey.
This is some of the colors we didn't even know. I mean, yes. Somebody's having a wedding, say they should bring royal blue. Like you said, what's royal blue? I know blue. It's blue.
And I learned that it's one of the things every couple mostly fights over, wedding colors.
Yes. I hear, like, you know, the guy is straightforward. He's going to wear a black suit. He's cool with that. But then the lady brings peach. And then it's like, what is peach? Peach is a fruit, you know. So The thing is that once a man, and I say this to my guys, like younger guys, once you understand that she's not like you, okay? She's softer, vulnerable, and all that. She went to the market. Then this woman sells something that's supposed to be sold at 10 cedis for 15 cedis. And then she comes back and she's nagging. This woman is wicked. She sold tomatoes for 15 cedis. And a man will go like, why didn't you check the other people and get the 10 cedis? It's not like the woman is looking for, he wants you to go fight the woman. No. He wants you to just say, oh, this woman, she didn't try. Oh, no, she didn't try. Babe, don't mind her. Next time, we'll go to another place.
That's just what she wants to hear.
But as soon as you go like, come on, why didn't you check another place? Then you've hurt her, okay? And that's why men work, we work a lot when it comes to emotional stability in a relationship. Because you always have to maybe be a little bit patronizing. You got to tell, you can't always be blunt, okay? You can't always be logical to a woman.
How they say sometimes we are like babies.
Yes, because women are like 80% emotional and then maybe just 20% logical. Men are like 80% logical and then 20% emotional. So what happens is that if a woman needs approvals, so like she's not so sure if she's looking beautiful, you need to tell her she's looking beautiful.
We love to hear that.
Yes, but a man wouldn't mind, okay, just going out and feeling that he's okay by himself. You see, so it's a lot of work. But if we turn it around to, there are one or two things men need that women overlook.
Okay, so I think I want us to take our time and look at that. Because I remember I was having a conversation with a friend and he was like, sometimes women will be like, oh, I did this for you when we're dating and whoa.
I bought a boxer short.
But at the end of the day, he feels that sometimes girls are selfish. It's like we do for you what we think you want.
Yeah.
But we don't actually ask you, oh, Kid Marvin, what probably would you want for your birthday? But I go and see, let's say, a boxer short or a shoe, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's his birthday, let me get this one. But I think you guys usually ask us, oh, what do you want for your birthday?
Yes.
But we don't ask you. Women,
because it's wrong, it seems wrong for a man to want to have something specifically. Like, we sound ungrateful when we go like, oh, babe, I would prefer that you do this.
It will hurt us because it's going to be like, oh, the stress I went through to get you
Exactly.
this. So you swallow that.
Exactly. But I wouldn't be happy.
Okay. I want to delve on that. I want to take a break. We'll be right back.
Books by Pastor A.L. Fant. They are inspired by the Holy Spirit, simple to comprehend, relevant in application, and so lovely to read. Grab copies like Dynamics of Kingdom Influence, Dynamics of Ministry, Mark is King for Church Workers, Money Matters, and she calls herself a woman. This marriage must work. No more curses. Loaded mouth. Secrets of Kingdom Dominion. The exploits of service. Things fall apart. Church without bleeding pulpit. Singles mingle and many more.
So the young men out there, you can't understand us. Sometimes our hormones, sometimes we don't even understand ourselves. That's one thing that you men should know. There are times that you don't understand yourself. I remember a few days ago, I just really didn't know what was wrong with me. But I just felt so uncomfortable about everything. Everything was annoying me. Somebody would even call me, I don't want to talk. You call me and on a normal day, I'll vibe with you that way, but I just don't want to listen. So it's normal that sometimes it's stuff that you guys can understand us. Now let's go back to a bit on the gifts or something. How do you approach like gifts or something? So men, how do I ask a man probably what he wants for Christmas or what he wants for his birthday, and not always assuming? So I see a shoe and I buy for him, I see a shirt or something else, but how do I assume what a man really, so what do you really like? That's number one. And how do I know if a guy really likes what I bought for him, so that I don't end up making the mistake of buying something for him? Or he can just pretend, oh, it's nice, just not to hurt me. But how do I know he really likes it, so that probably I can continue in that direction? I know the one thing that will get you guys out there is a PS5.
Oh yeah, I mean, for the guys who like video games,
yeah.
it's a solid gift. And I like footwear. I know guys like footwear. Enough of the boxer shorts and the singlets. That one is so cliche.
We stop buying them.
Yes, and simple accessories, maybe an earpiece, something like that, or an anklet, a bracelet or something like that. Yeah, it's cool. Men may come out to be complicated, but we like simple stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are giving me a gift and it will add up to my daily routine, it will help my daily routine. Maybe I train, I jog and all that. You get me this wireless or Bluetooth something, I would really appreciate it. It means I'm going to use it on a daily basis. But I think women overthink when they want to buy a gift for a man. It's a simple thing, like check what he does every day and see what you can throw in to make it easier for him. Okay. Unlike women who would appreciate a lot of bags, even though they have 1,000, but just buy 100 more, she'll keep it.
Shoes,
even though she doesn't really know where she's going next, but she definitely has plans. You'll be like, maybe my friend will get married. Maybe we would have something at church and all that.
Right.
So that's the
shoes.
Yes, that's the difference between men and women in terms of gifts. I don't think a woman should worry too much. Just the simple stuff would do for a man. Yeah, that's what I think. Personally, that's what I think.
The simple stuff. But I think that sometimes we can also find a way to ask you, maybe if you're watching a movie or something, we just, oh, this watch. Do you like watches?
We don't like to burden our women. Okay. So you ask me, do you like watches? And I'm thinking that this thing is quite expensive. So if I say yes, she may be forced to try and get it for me. And personally, I don't like bothering people in general.
No, but you might not really, well, I don't know. But I think that so how can we find out things you like in conversation?
Yeah, so let me detach my persona from this. So like you said, you're watching a movie, there's a watch, and then you say, this watch is nice. And then he says, yeah, it's wicked. It's very nice. You know, he likes it.
Okay.
Or if you are watching a movie and he says that, hey, the guy's watch is nice, then you note it down so that next time you get opportunity, you can get that for him. So something like that. You just have to look out for the things that a man is excited about. You know how men talk about football.
But when you ask him, do you like watches? He might not really tell you, I like watches. It depends. He might say yes or no.
No, he should be able to say yes if he likes watches. It would be hypocritical to say no.
Yeah.
Maybe he wouldn't want you to know specifically the type he likes, so that you won't bother yourself. But he will say he likes watches. But you also have to watch the type of stuff he wears. Like if a guy likes sporty stuff, and then you go get a leather watch, maybe he wouldn't appreciate that. So you have to always observe. It's part of the work in a relationship. We got to look at each other. A lot of people are dating and are not looking at each other. You know, somebody gets to work and then something happens and asks the partner, my top, then he's like, what color car were you even wearing? It means that he didn't really take a look.
Before they went out.
And it happens to both men and women. So we need to, personally, I'm learning to like make relationships work personally. And I realized that you need to be observant, one. You need to listen a lot. And you need to tolerate the mood swings you were talking about. So recently, I got to accept that women have just a week in a month to be okay. If they are not in their menses, they are ovulating.
That's true.
And And it is not
And menstruation takes a week before you start menstruating. The hormones disconnect. I
Exactly.
usually say disconnect.
Exactly.
When you are ovulating, so it's true. You have just 1 week or even 15, not up to 2 weeks to
yes.
be normal.
Yes. So if a guy doesn't get it that way, then it means that the whole month you are going to fight. Okay. But as soon as a guy understands that we have 3 weeks of rough days and then 1 week of good days. So the 3 weeks of rough days, anything she does,
Don't mind
you
her.
brush it off.
Just say, I know this.
And anything she asks, you patronize her. Red is very beautiful. You, the guy, you don't like red. Yes, red is super beautiful. Yeah, there we go. Because you need your peace in the house.
Oh my
Okay?
goodness.
That's how we take care of women like we take care of our daughters. Every guy who's dating a woman should assume the position of a father.
That's
And
true.
for those of us who have daughters, you know your daughter's head is sweet.
I heard Miles Monroe say that women are looking for fathers and not husbands.
Exactly.
And people didn't understand until he explained and said that the husband is just your title,
Yeah.
but your actions are a father's actions.
Yes.
So you are supposed to pamper her, make her feel okay, and even when you don't feel like it. So like you said, if your daughter comes when you are reading or on your phone and say, "Daddy, play with me," you have
Yeah.
to stop.
Exactly.
If not, she will cry and not give you peace.
Exactly. But because we think that this woman is older than my daughter, she should know better, we try to be too hard or harsh. But the point is that it's the same little girl who has just assumed the role of a mother and a wife. But her inner feelings are girlish.
Yeah.
So, for example, you are thinking about money. You are lying on the bed thinking about it. She wants to come and lie on your chest. And it's so frustrating to men. Like, is it? And yeah, I'm telling you,
Say it
took
again.
me
You
a
are
lot
on the
of-
bed thinking about money.
I'm thinking about money. And then your woman wants to come and lie on your chest. How?
But she can lie down whilst you are thinking.
Never. Chest and money, they don't really need.
I like this
Okay.
one. So the woman, when your man wants to think, don't go and lie on his chest.
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm only asking men because I said it took me a long time to understand some of these things. So right now, if my woman comes to lie on my chest, I just have to hold my breath because I'm thinking about the dollars. But then she also wants to lie on my chest, so you hold your breath. Pamper her small, maybe 5 minutes, she may get up. You just pray that God should make it 3 minutes because they don't gel, you know, that kind of thing. So
And
if-
we don't get tired of that. We don't.
Yes.
We don't get tired of pampering.
It's in your nature, even our mothers, okay? If you're a guy, you have a mother, you realize that she always wants to have some kind of relationship with you. And you're like, you're a big boy, you don't want to.
Yeah.
My mom wants me to hold her when we are taking a photograph. I feel that I'm a big boy. You know, why should I hold you? Okay. But there was a time I had an issue with my mom, and she told me that, well, you've read a bit of psychology, sociology in school. So you should figure out what's happening to me. That's what she said. So I went around thinking about what happened. No, she's built her life around me as an only child. So she expects that I should treat her like
Mommy's
my wife.
boy.
I should
Okay.
treat her like my daughter. So when I go visit her, I should come and sit in her room for like 1 hour. Then we are talking about
Nothing.
nonsense. Yeah, like which family member did this, who did that, and
Oh,
all
they
that.
do that a lot.
And so when I understood that, I started doing it.
Okay.
And whenever I go sit, maybe 15 minutes, we do gossip about other family members. And she's okay for the day. Okay. So similarly, you do that for your
Your wife.
girlfriend or your wife. She can bring some very irrelevant issue from work.
Just listen.
Today, do you know Anita's shoe was flat? Oh, really? Anita's shoe was flat. Oh, she didn't try. She should have worn the heel. You know, and she's like, yeah, she should have worn the heel. I've been telling her, heels look good on her. But to you, that's like, it's not, it doesn't make sense.
A friend of mine who is married told me that he went home and told the wife that, oh, he met this lady in town and she says hi. I was like, oh, okay. I hope she was looking good. And he said when the question came, like it was like a trap.
Yeah.
If I say she was looking good, it's now going to be something
Problem,
else.
yeah.
Then if she wasn't looking good, it means you still look to know she wasn't good. So I can't remember. That's so what hair was? And he was not. She was not like. She always had to say hi. You're asking me what hair she was wearing and everything. But later on, the wife was a bit offended and now came and said, "Oh yeah, I remember now. Oh, she was looking okay. She was wearing this." And he just had to frame up things to just calm her down.
Yes. Because you guys are complicated. And we have to learn to live with you guys. You know?
But sometimes I hear a lot of guys say, oh, this girl is too emotional. And I heard one married man say that, is that her only problem? And the guy said, yeah, that if that's the only problem, you don't have a problem.
Then there's no problem.
Because that women are like that. And the single guy was like, the married man is always apologizing, like telling the wife, I'm sorry, because they had to work. Anytime he calls the wife back, he has to say, oh, I'm sorry, and explain where he was, what he was doing. Does it sometimes get annoying?
Frustrating, not annoying. Very frustrating.
Does it reduce the love you have for us?
It doesn't. If a man says because the wife nags or because she's emotional, he has lost the love, then he never loved her.
Okay.
Because I always say that people should be who they are, like in the initial stages. Okay, that's why I frown on pretense from the beginning. If you're a baby girl, be a baby girl during, and I even prefer that you are a baby girl during courtship.
Yeah.
Okay,
marriage.
That is the point you can get a man to really attend to you.
That's true.
As soon as you become a wife, I go like we're sharing responsibility. But then if you're a girlfriend and you call me around 11 that you're hungry, I'm supposed to pull up, at least impress you. That's the time a man can actually impress you. As soon as you become a wife, it's like, yeah, I'm going to pay the bride price. What again? If something happens, we are going back to your father's house and all that. Okay, so be the baby you are right from the beginning. Then he has an idea.
I like that.
Yes.
Be the baby.
If you are tough, and then all of a sudden you become a baby when you now have a baby. So it's a baby having a baby. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, the man will find it difficult to understand. But I always pray that men should just work on understanding women. Because there are times we may have an argument, and because I played along, like, oh yeah, it's true, you're right. She later comes back to tell me she was wrong. And then I go like, yeah, so far as I wasn't the one who said you were wrong, and you come back.
But if you had said you were wrong from the beginning,
there
then
will be
that natural ego of defense is going to come in.
Exactly. So there are times, if it's not too harmful, you leave a woman to go and hit her forehead on the wall.
She'll come back.
She'll come back crying, and you go like, so would you like to try it the other way around? And she says like, yes. Then that's your other way around. But as soon as you go, I don't do that. You know, you don't want me to grow, blah blah blah. So when I was growing up, my uncle was very quiet. Okay, I stayed with my auntie for a while. He was very quiet, always sitting in the corner of the house, and I never understood him. I was like, and I think I heard him speak just a couple of times. Now that I'm growing up, I'm beginning to understand that a man, you don't really have to be arguing in the house though. Just sit in the corner, be observing anything. If they bring the issues to you, you can solve them, you solve them. Because most of our issues are money, money and then action, not the talking. So let the woman talk. You'll be, reading your newspapers, watching television and all that is better. Men who talk too much in a relationship, like arguing, trying to prove a point, they wreck the whole thing. Okay, let the woman do the talking most of the time, and it helps. That's what personally I've experienced.
But don't you want, like, if a man, a young man that probably I'm still going out with, won't he think that I'm trying to override him? We have that culture. When a woman is vocal, we think that she's out there to control the man, but probably she's making. I remember I saw this quote and I was like, most of my problems are that I'm actually talking, and sometimes people think I'm arguing because my voice is high, and I actually related with it. But sometimes men feel that because you are talking, trying to make a point, sometimes they are wrong, but they let their friends influence them, and they don't want to listen.
No, I believe there's power and there's noise. Okay, so if you are a high value man, or if you are a made man, your wife can make all the noise. You are going to pull the strings at the end of the day. There's something we do in marriage. I won't tell you people, because none of you.
Oh, we are preparing to get married.
Okay, so there's something we do. Like that will be like later in the day. That will show that you are in control. Okay. During the day, let the woman make the noise. Yeah, we're not going to do this. Be gentle, be nice. Okay. Later in the day, do that prayer with her. Then in the morning,
it's a prayer.
There's a prayer. In the morning, we all know who is in charge.
Is it the
during the prayer, she will be saying, "I worship you, Lord," to you, and she'll be saying that make the decision, I don't want to make it again. It's a prayer, please. Hey, you talk today. You are just. It's a prayer.
Not behind the scenes. Why are you laughing?
So there's power and there's noise.
Okay.
So I don't think you should stop a woman from talking.
So married couples usually pray very well in
They
the
pray,
night.
yes. If they don't pray, how would they sustain the marriage?
Nice.
Yes.
Dear future husband, let's pray.
Be prayerful.
Be prayerful.
Yes, I believe there's power and there's noise. Your wife talking or taking some action doesn't mean she's overriding you or anything. If you are that kind of a man, you realize that you're always the one in charge. Where you make her do the PR work and then you take the actions. And it doesn't bring any problem. Yes. You're thinking about the prayers.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about what kind of prayers.
It's just normal prayers.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Our
When you get
Father
there, yeah.
who art in heaven.
Yes, when you get there, you understand.
Okay. Okay. On that prayer note, let's take a break so we can pray.
Books by Pastor A.L. Fant. They are inspired by the Holy Spirit, simple to comprehend, relevant in application, and so lovely to read. Grab copies like Dynamics of Kingdom Influence, Dynamics of Ministry, Marcus King for Church Workers, Money Matters, and she calls herself a woman. This marriage must work. No more curses. Loaded mouth. Secrets of kingdom dominion. The exploits of service. Things fall apart. Church without bleeding pulpit. Singles mingle and many more.
Welcome back from the break. I hope you had an amazing prayer time while we're on break. If you are married, I hope you have a wonderful prayer with your partner. Be the singles. Let's go and pray. So married people, pray with your partner. The singles, go and pray.
Yeah.
If you get it, if you don't get it, forget it.
about it.
Yeah, so we have just about 10 minutes to wrap up on this. So before we get to what mental health is and all of that, in general, what do you think that we are missing as young people in relationships in this day and age?
I think young people are missing the point. The point. Why do you want to be in a relationship? It's not because it's trending. It's not because Kenny has a boyfriend, so I need a boyfriend. Or I feel lonely, or I saw people kissing on in the TV, so I also need somebody. No. You first of all need to think about your purpose in life, and you need someone who can support that purpose. So, for example, you are into media, you're into foundation work. Who do you look out for to be a partner? Somebody who has passion and love for people, because you're going to deal with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you need to think about the point is that I need someone that I can work with, a partner, and grow with. But if it's just about, these days it's mostly about looks. Like, my friend's boyfriend is tall, so I also need a tall boyfriend with six
We
packs
say
and all that.
TTH, thick, tall, and handsome.
Oh, wow. And thick, tall, and handsome doesn't mean that the person may have good character. You see, that's the challenge, because no one is perfect. So don't go for looks. Look for a partner, someone you can work something out with, work on a project with. Marriage, relationships, we've agreed that it's work. So it's a project. You don't go building and then you bring a caterer as your partner during the construction of the building. Okay. Or if you're a caterer, you don't go pick a mason as your partner.
Yeah.
You pick someone who can
Who
beat
understands, yeah.
eggs, at least support you.
Yeah.
So that is what I feel a lot of young people are missing. Just the point. The reason to be in a relationship here.
So why are you going out? We are asking ourselves as young people, if you were a woman, the only thing I usually hear is, oh, I'm 25, I'm 28, I'm 30, I need to get married. Why? Is it because the society has made marriage the standard to be respected or to be honored or whatever? But I think that beyond that, we should take our time to fully understand why we want to get married. Because like I was saying off air early this morning, that if I get a call that tomorrow come to Accra, I just gotta pack my bags and I'm gone.
Yeah.
If I'm telling my mom, I'm just telling her, I'm not asking for her permission. But once I get married and they even say, come to Accra next week, I'm going to tell them that, let me get back to you. Because I have to ask my husband, not because sometimes for his permission. That's why sometimes people get it wrong. Your husband is not controlling you, but probably there's a funeral somewhere in the family. If it's me alone, there's a funeral in my hometown, I can dodge and I won't go and it's fine. But if it's my husband's family, probably they are expecting him to come with his wife.
Definitely.
If there's a gathering in his family, they are expecting him to probably do something, or I'm even supposed to do something on behalf of my husband if he is not available.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point whereby you're not just living for yourself, but you're living for your husband and even his family, because if his mom is sick and he can't go, you have to step in for him.
Sure.
So sometimes we need to put all of these things in place to fully understand marriage.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with a friend who was telling me that sometimes he feels that marriage counseling is not done well. He feels it's just like a process.
Yeah.
Just go through. But
especially at the church.
Yeah, at the church.
Yeah.
Because he feels that marriage ultimately is between the two people. If you're able to understand this and go on that, it can really help. Now let's go to mental health. Yeah. What is mental health all about and how we can fully handle that?
Yeah, so simply put, it's just a bag of all your emotions, all your psychological conditions, your feelings, everything in one bag, your social well-being. Okay, so, and that defines you as a human being. There's a thin line between being sane and being insane.
Okay.
So in trying to maintain that thin line, be on that thin line, that's just making sure that you have a very good mental health. And relationships affect mental health a lot, because even your mother, your father, how you relate to them, what they say to you, what you hear from your siblings can affect how you think or how you feel. So you see a lot of people running mad around. It's family, it's relationship, it's how other people, they caused it, okay? So whenever I see a mad person, I go like, it could be me, because I've been through some trauma before.
That's
and
true.
If I had not handled it well.
That's true.
And that's why a human being needs to build that capacity to be able to take some of these shocks in life so that you don't lose it. So mental health is very sensitive. I think people should take it very seriously. If you realize that you're in a situation that's going to take away your mental health, walk away from it. I think that's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Especially relationships.
Yes, especially relationships. I don't support divorce and separation and all that. But if it's going to take away who you are, it's going to unmartyr you, walk away from it. Because God made you martyr.
Yeah.
And anyone who's coming into your life should accept martyr.
Yeah.
If the person's coming to change you into another thing, that will mess up your head.
Yeah.
You have every right to walk away from it.
So tidbits on everything we've spoken about. But before then, we've spoken about men understanding women.
Yeah.
Let's look at a bit of how we can also understand you guys. So it's our birthday and we expect I copied this joke on social media where Bank of Ghana said that people use the, what's the name, money to do the flower bouquet. They are banning it. I was telling someone that now girls wouldn't know what to ask. Yeah. And a guy came on social media to say that his girlfriend says he wants money bouquet. And his budget was 1,000 today, but they're saying it's 1,002. He has explained to the girl says no. She wants money bouquet. And, you know, some will even tell you the notes they want. They want
a silly girl.
Yes, they want 10 cedis or 20 cedis notes money bouquet. How can we also understand you guys? Is it your responsibility to take care of us while we are dating?
It's not. Especially whilst dating, you don't play the fatherly. You play the fatherly role when you marry. And even that is for emotional support.
Yeah.
Not really financially.
Okay.
Women should also work and then bring something on the table. It makes them sexier and attractive if they can bring something on the table Okay, so it also spices up the relationship because you know she's doing something. Like you're beautifully dressed and you're on set. Your man should be proud. So it makes the evening prayers better. So that's for married people.
That's when I get married, you know.
So it's not a responsibility for a young guy, 23-year-old guy, 24-year-old guy, to take care of her. Before you met her, she was being taken care of by
she was fine.
someone. I think a lot of Ghanaian, I don't know whether it's Ghanaian or African women, as soon as a man proposes to them, then they become orphans.
Not all.
Like
Oh my
sometimes, not all.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for women who are okay.
But there are men
Yeah.
who also take advantage of young girls they are dating.
Yeah.
They ask them for money.
They ask young girls for money.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know. I wish I could do some.
Yes, there are men who would ask you, buy me airtime, buy me data. They would say,
Yes,
"Oh,
if we are very comfortable, you know, you date and get to a level that you're very comfortable with each other. I know I can throw
some
in
take
1,000.
advantage."
Some take advantage.
Yes.
I'm surprised. That's
Yes.
bad. I mean,
They do that.
They shouldn't do that.
They do that.
Then it means they don't love the woman.
That's true.
Even though a man is not supposed to financially take care of a
Yeah.
woman whilst dating, it's the responsibility to ensure that the woman is okay lies on the head of the man most of the time. So I'm thinking how he's going to be taken from the little you have from you.
After this, do a research, you hear stories.
Well, that's, I mean, I'm not surprised though, but yeah. So men, what do we want? I mean, look at
How do we pamper you? How do we, that's pampering, or what can we do to make you guys fall in love with us?
respect,
More.
respect.
Respect, like
Yes.
how? Do
The-
we have to come and kneel down and
No.
greet you?
There's a difference between respect and then fear. Okay, you don't need to fear your guy or your man. You need to respect him. As in, like, you can even argue with him, all right. But then there's a sense of respect in the argument. Okay, and men love people who submit to them. That's why a big man will be sleeping with a house help. Okay, because the wife is so bossy, and because the house help naturally is submissive, he feels that, oh yeah, I think I love her better than madam. But it's a confusion in feelings.
It's
you know,
not love.
it's not love. It's just because. So if you want your man to love you, just respect him for whoever he is. Just try and respect him for whoever he is. I think that works a lot. That works a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your final words.
Final words. People should take relationships very seriously, like a project, so that they bring in all the weapons, all the tools to make it work. Thinking very much about the emotional aspect, psychological aspect of the whole thing. It has become so much like a body thing, like sex, and then like how good somebody is in bed and all that. No, that's not it. Minds should fall in love, hearts should fall in love. Then the bonus will be the physical attraction.
Sex can
what
be
I-
learned, but
Yes,
character cannot.
character, exactly.
learned.
And character overshadows everything.
Yeah.
So once you get it right with your character, you're in love in your minds. I think you can weather all the storms that will come your way in a relationship. That's what I can say.
Wow. This has been an amazing episode. I believe that we've learned so much from that. Let's just try as much as possible to appreciate ourselves and reduce the heartbreak so that we can grow. Sometimes it even affects our career because you are just focused on the man, your boyfriend, and you say, oh, today I don't feel like going to work. I don't feel like doing that. And at the end of the day, he's working and making money and even having other girlfriends while you are crying. So don't put, I always say that photocopy your heart and keep the original and take the photocopy one to go and fall in love. If not, it will affect you greatly. I have been speaking with Mr. Marvin Senanu Achinya. He's a senior assistant registrar at the Tamale Technical University and also a counselor. I believe that this episode has given us more insight on how we can be in a relationship, how we can understand men, and they should also understand us. We have just 1 week to act normal as women. The rest of the days, just be calming down and treat us as your daughters. I'll be back with thoughts. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Thoughts from Martha and Spice. Today, I just want to remind all of us about purpose, about going into the world to multiply. Do we really understand that multiplication is not just about having sex and giving birth to kids and you are just fine? Are you multiplying your purpose? Are you multiplying something amazing or special about you? It's high time we take our minds away from just relationships. I'm not saying it's bad. Of course, we all want to get married one day. I want to get married one day. But does it mean that because the marriage is not yet in, I should fold my arms and sit down just to wait for that man? I was telling a friend a few days ago that there are some men who will not date you if you are not working. It's a red flag for them. Some cry even if you don't have a car and they have a car, they will encourage you to get a car because they don't want to be put in a box where you would have to force them to get you a car. Please, young women, we are mostly at the point where we cry, we are in trouble, we are hurt and all of that. Men can always suppress their emotions. You and I, we can't, or it will be very difficult. So let's be very careful how we fall in love with men or guys we don't even have much information about, because most of these guys pretend. Most of these guys are not what they are. My pastor would always say that if your boyfriend says, I'm a manager of so-and-so bank, walk in there one day and say, I'm looking for the manager. Don't say, I'm looking for Kweku or Kofi. If not, they will call Kweku or Kofi for you. Go and say, I'd like to see the manager. If the manager comes out and he's your boyfriend, fine. If he's not your boyfriend, then you have something else to do. Probe into anything. If the man says, I am this or I'm doing that, ask him a lot of questions. A lot of them can pretend. A lot of them can lie. Like a girl who said their boyfriend says he's a businessman, always comes to her with different cars, only to find out he's a mechanic. So if he has to service someone's car today, he'll go and visit the girl with this car. Meanwhile, he was always going with someone's car. I'm not saying people cannot own more than 3-4 cars. But if a 27-year-old guy comes to you, he has 3 houses, he has 10 cars. Of course, God can bless anybody, I know. But most times, if it's inherited from his parents, we can understand. But if he's 28, 30 and he has already 4 or 5 houses, you need to probe into some of these things. Because if God is going to bless you, sometimes God will bless you according to your measure. He will not bless you. Of course, we believe in over and above blessings. But if God is going to give me a house, He will give me what I desire. God will not give me 10 houses at this age. For what? Unless I want to begin an orphanage or something. But if I have to own 10 houses at this age, how about the souls that He has put into my hands? How am I going to look after them? So before you believe or trust a man blindly, make sure you ask questions. Make sure you ask about their past relationships. Ask them if they have children somewhere. Before you get married and at the end of the day, they come and tell you that, oh, I didn't want to tell you because I thought that you would leave me. So ask them, is there anything that I need to know? Ask them. And pray. When you pray, God can show you a lot of things about the man. And when He does, listen. That has always been our biggest mistake. We think they are familiar dreams. Yes, sometimes, but sometimes God is actually talking to you. Thank you for watching this episode. I believe that from now onwards, you add a spice into your relationship or into your marriage. Have a good night.